everyone, welcome to Math Learning Hub, a hub for everybody who loves math. So today we're going to look at the number of relatively prime integers less than a number. So you might ask, right, this word relatively prime here. So what is this exactly, right? What does it mean to be relatively prime? Well, it means that you basically you're not sharing a factor with a number, right? So for example, take 28, right? If you take the integer 3, right? So 3 is relatively prime to 28 because 3 and 28 don't share any factors except for 1, but 1 doesn't count towards this count, right? So now let's give another example. So the number 4, right? Would the number 4 be relatively prime to 28? And the answer would be no. 4 is not relatively prime to 28 because they both share factors of 2 and 4. Therefore, 4 is not an example of this. What about the number 9, right? The number 9 is relatively prime to 28 since they don't share any factors other than 1. So that's what relatively prime is gonna basically mean. And then so how do we find the number of integers that are relatively prime that are less than a number n, right? So now let's take one example, which is 28, right? How many relatively prime integers are less than 28? So what we're going to do here, we're going to basically take our bases, basically our prime factors, right? The bases that we have of our exponents, and then for each of these prime factors, we're basically going to make them fractions, right? So on the bottom is going to be the prime factor. The top is going to be the prime factor minus 1. It's going to be 2 minus 1, right? And you're going to do that for each prime factor, and you multiply each of them together, right? And then at the end, you multiply by the number itself, which in this case is 28, right? So when we do this, you get 1 over 2 times 6 over 7 times 28, right? So here, a lot of canceling naturally happens. And you're left with 12 relatively prime integers less than 28. Right, so let's try another problem, 72, right? So you take 72 and you take the prime factorization first. Now you see which prime factors do I have, right? We have 2 and 3 here. So we're gonna take 2 minus 1 over 2 times 3 minus 1 over 3 times the number itself, which is 72. So that's going to be 1 over 2 times 2 over 3 times 72. Of course, there's going to be a lot of canceling here. So that's going to be 72 over 3, which is going to be 24. So there are 24 relatively prime integers less than 72. And that is our process. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something new. Please be sure to stick around for the next video. Bye!